Dance Arts of Columbia provides fitness fun for everyone from 3 years old to adult. Dance Arts is a good environment where the friendly staff makes you feel comfortable. Dance Arts feels that dance is an art form that you can experience firsthand by learning tap, jazz, modern, musical theater, lyrical, and ballet. Dance Arts urges you to enjoy a sense of accomplishment while getting fit and having fun. For class information, call 875-1569. Dance Arts of Columbia, serving Columbia since 1979.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this Monday, January the 26th. It's good to have you with us today. We're going to talk about something perhaps many of you are not aware of. It's an organization called Room at the Inn, and there's a group of people who work very, very hard to make this a reality. I want to introduce you to the coordinator of Room at the Inn, Yvonne Chamberlain. Welcome to Radio Friends, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Now, Room at the Inn is basically it's a homeless shelter, right? Mm-hmm. That operates how many months of the year?
Typically, we operate only in the months of January and February. Our goal is to provide safe, warm winter housing for our homeless community during the winter months. This year, we opened our doors in December on the 11th, and we'll actually run through March 10th. And the reason we expanded our time frame this year was because weather predictions were indicating that it was going to be much colder this winter.
Yeah. How did Room at the Inn come about?
Room at the Inn actually came about from a conversation at a coffee table in Panera several years ago, where a couple of local ministers were sitting and talking about the upcoming forecast for really cold temperatures and wondering what those homeless individuals in our community who would be displaced and couldn't get into other shelters would do. And they went back to their parishes and they, sent out emails and said, is there any ideas about things that we can do? And they got a huge response from their communities, their faith communities, and Room at the Inn started that year as just a 2-week operation at United Missouri Methodist Church, where they opened their doors to homeless individuals for that 2-week period and provided just a warm, safe place for them to sleep at night.
Now, that was how many years ago?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. Mm-hmm. So each year you've been adding a little more time
We've been adding a little more time. We've been adding a little more resources. It's moved around from one church, and a few years ago we had a facility off of Old 63 where it was housed for the entire season. There was another season where we had it for the entire 2 months at one particular church. That got to be a little cumbersome for one church to kind of take on that responsibility. Mm-hmm. So last year they actually started rotating, and I believe there were 8 churches that were in our sequence. The challenge that we found was that our numbers on average were 37. Our highs or our peaks last year were 45.
And how many people can you handle this year at one time?
This year we can handle 50. And that's we made sure we've limited the number of churches, so we only have 4 participating that are host sites. Mm-hmm. And those all can accommodate 50 guests.
Have you had a time yet this year when all 50 beds have been full?
Yes, we've actually, in the last week and a half, we've had 3 nights that we have had 50 guests.
What happens if 51 comes in or 52 come in and you don't have space?
We've actually been very lucky because currently we're at United Missouri Methodist Church, and their basketball gymnasium area actually can accommodate an extra cot or 2, and so we haven't had to turn anyone away. We have had 2 nights where we've had 51 and 52 guests, and so we had extra cots that were available in case anything got damaged throughout the season, that we were able to set up cots for those additional individuals. We're very lucky that we haven't had to do more.
Yeah, you're blessed.
Yes.
And what you're doing is a real blessing for these people.
Yes.
And I'm sure you see these folks firsthand. Mm-hmm. They're not wanting to be in the situation that they're in.
No.
So many times people get criticized for being down on their luck, and that's basically what it is, through no fault of their own.
Exactly.
They're trying as hard as they can, and it just can't make ends meet. You were saying that many of the people that come in have jobs.
Right.
They've got jobs, but they're not making enough money to pay utility bills, to pay
Exactly.
rent. So
Exactly.
what do you do when you get in a situation like that?
Yes, and we actually like to say that we serve the homeless and the near homeless because there are so many in our community that literally live from paycheck to paycheck, and all it takes is one tragedy, one,
Unexpected medical expense.
exactly, and then they're in a situation where they cannot afford, their rent, they can't afford their utilities, they can't afford all of those things, and they end up displaced.
How do you deal with it personally when you're there and you see these folks coming in?
I deal with it on an individual basis. I think everybody has their own story. I look at them as human beings. We're all brothers and sisters in the eyes of God. And to me, I look at those individuals and what they bring to the table. I have been blessed to get to know a lot of individuals at our shelter, particularly our regular guests. And it's nice to go in at night when I haven't been there for a day or two and have people say, "We missed you," and "How are you doing? How was your day? Did you do something fun and interesting?" and share with me the things that have gone on in their lives since they last seen me.
People listening to us today, if they would like to help out, obviously you're looking for donations of goods, you're looking for donations of cash,
Right.
and you're looking for donations of time.
Exactly.
All right, let's start with the goods. What do you need?
Well, as far as goods go, we do a lot of, we don't necessarily provide them full meals. We do give them a continental breakfast in the morning, and we do have evening light snacks and things like that because we encourage them to go to Wilkes Church for loaves and fishes. But there are some individuals who come to us late or didn't get enough there, and so we like to have things like sandwiches, hot dogs, simple things like that,
Right. Okay.
soups, and those kind of things. So we actually do have a list of all of our in-kind donations, but
On your web
on our
page?
website.
Okay.
But we need a lot of perishable things like milk, orange juice, like I said, lunch meats, sandwich, peanut butter and jelly, bread, those kind of things. And then we also are in need of cleaning supplies. We are trying to make sure that it's a nice sanitized environment,
Okay.
So that if there is any illness, our guests are not spreading that among themselves or with our volunteers.
So non-perishable items, cleaning supplies, and cash.
Yes.
Then if people would like to donate their time, how do they do that?
Actually, all of these donations can be done through our website, which is Room at the Inn, all one word, Como, .org.
Okay,
Excuse
so
me.
it's www.roomatttheinn.como. It's all one word, .org.
Yes.
You can go onto that website. You'll see what's needed. You can sign up
Sign up to volunteer.
to volunteer. Or can you make a donation online too?
Unfortunately, we don't accept donations online. All of
can
our
they make a
donations,
donation?
all of our donations go through the Columbia Interfaith Resource Center, which kind of sponsors Room at the Inn. And so there are instructions on there
On how
the
to make a
website on
donation.
how to make a donation.
Okay, all right. It's www.roomatttheendcomo.org.
Yes.
Yvonne Chamberlain, thank you
Thank
for
you
coming.
very
God
much.
bless you for what you're doing.
Thank
You're
you.
a wonderful person.
Thank you.
We're out of time for today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about a special program, Homeless on Homeless Veterans. Our program directed by Travis McMillen, Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers, KBIA. Our floor director is Lowell Thomas, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. Something you'd like to hear or see? Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. Bye-bye.